Child Christopher in Goldiland Affair is an 1895 novel by William Morris. It is one of his prose romances, which essentially is a fantasy novel, if we use the modern term. It is the fifth of his that I've read, the sixth book I've read by him overall, and I believe the fourth review of a book of his on this channel. While the first two prose romances are really historical fiction, the two following ones are essentially early fantasy novels. This one is mostly a retelling of the medieval lay, actually, of Havelok the Dane. And so in that sense, this one has much more of a connection to the past, even though they're all kind of recreating this mythical, nationalistic, romantic past. But the other one, the earlier prose romances, seem to have been, it's easier to see what they inspired rather than what they were inspired by, besides just medieval stuff in general. So there are very few magical elements this time around. I'd say maybe even in comparison to Havelok, though Havelok the Dane is longer, and Havelok the Dane is also more focused on, it's a romance, actually, and so, it's about a man, a prince that deserves his homeland, and essentially the story is resolved when he gets it back. And so, that's essentially this main story here as well, but that royal authority is not so much what William Morris likes to look at. He likes to look at more like communal things, to agree with the socialism and whatnot, and against industrialization primarily. So Christopher himself is driven from his kingdom at a young age. His parents, the rulers of Oakenworld, don't have a good time. The story begins with a description saying a squirrel can travel the whole kingdom of Oakenworld without setting foot upon the ground. So it's heavily forested, of course. The story, again, though, in this case is, while it does have that backdrop of reclaiming his right, it is much more focused on the romance than Christopher needing his needs to reclaim the throne. So, it is an interesting one. And as far as, being connected to Havelok the Dane, it's got similarities to, say, something like Harald Sigurdsson's saga, or the story of Amleth, which is Hamlet, of course, and stuff like that. So anyways, I don't have much to say on this one besides the fact that William Morris's language is as beautiful as ever. I'm just kind of used to it at this point. And as far as, I already knew the story, actually, because I've read Havelok, so in some ways I think it's a good comparison to make by reading both of them. But in other ways, I didn't enjoy this one as much because I was familiar with the story already, but I think Morris is still worthwhile, but maybe I enjoyed this one about as much as Roots to Mountains, with House of the Wolffiends and Story of the Glittering Plain and Wood Beyond the World still being up there more of his work. So, but anyways, and of course it's free to read because it's so old. Leave from Moon's Ice, and I'll catch you next time.